Whether you're about to be a parent, you're a new parent, or you're moving into the area and you already are a parent, finding a great pediatrician is so important. This week, I talked to one of the best on Business Spotlight, Dr. Cynthia Bui at Coastal Kids. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Jason Zwolak of the Zwolak Group with First Team and Christie's International Real Estate, coming to you as always from Irvine here in Orange County, California. I hope you all had a great week and are ready for Memorial Day. For those of you tuning in for the first time, each week I spotlight a local business here in Orange County. If you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell so you're notified every time I post. I post new videos every week about what it's like to live here in Orange County. We talk about businesses, restaurants, neighborhoods, parks, things to do here in our great area. On this week's Business Spotlight, I talked to Dr. Cynthia Bui at Coastal Kids. She's actually our son's pediatrician, and she's amazing. From the first time we met her, when we went and did a tour of the office, we felt at ease. She's so easy to talk to. She has a great bedside manner. Easton loves her. Even though he only sees her once, maybe twice a year, he's always comfortable with her. She jokes with him and makes him feel really comfortable in the office. So I think you're really going to enjoy this interview. So let's check it out. Right. Hi, Dr. Bui.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. It's a nice day outside.
Yeah, no kidding, right? The benefits of living here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for jumping on here with me. I really, really appreciate it. I know it's really important for people living here and people maybe that are moving into the area that have kids. Like trying to find a good pediatrician is always at the top of the list, right?
Yeah.
So for us, when we had Easton, it was one of our top things, and finding you guys was amazing. So I'm really happy that you're able to jump on here with me and kind of talk about things and let us know about Coastal Kids and you. So
of course, I'm happy to. I mean, I love being at Coastal Kids. It's been a pleasure being your pediatrician. Not yours, but Easton's pediatrician. And it's been a pleasure to see him really grow and thrive, and from being, knowing you guys even before, Easton was born, meeting you when you were expecting, and then to be able to meet Easton once he came into the world and to see how he's really grown into a very, very sweet and very bright boy.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey, and I think that's really cool. I think it was for everybody that's watching this, that's one thing we loved about coming in, is that sitting down with you and you telling us what it's all about and having that first meeting just felt at ease right away. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit, tell everybody a little bit about Coastal Kids, how many locations, and just kind of go through that.
Of course. So I work at Coastal Kids. Coastal Kids has 5 locations. So I'm actually in the Irvine one, which is where I see Easton. But we have 5 locations. Our biggest one is probably in Newport Beach, where it all started out. There's Irvine, there's Laguna Hills, Laguna Niguel, and Ladera Ranch. And so convenient for a lot of families, and sometimes our families do end up moving to different parts of Orange County. And the nice thing is, maybe some of the providers do travel to different locations. A, and then B, everything is the same at each of the locations. We try to keep everything as simple as possible for the families, and so your records, everything is just all in one place. Even if, and say you were down south one day, say Easton, you're Easton down south for some reason, and something came up, you'd be able to go to any of our offices. There's no kind of restrictions or anything like that.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's the one thing that we love about it. It's just so convenient, and being open on the weekends too, and just being a phone call away. So that's something that's awesome.
And that's what I enjoy too, is because for kids, they're different than adults, and so being able to see you guys on if something comes up, because kids never plan anything. They always decide they want to be sick at some other moment that's not convenient. And so being able to see on the same day or even after hours, following up on the weekend. So that's super important, because even 2 days goes by, and oftentimes there are things that come up. Kids get sick, or we're trying to track and see, hey, are you getting better, getting worse? What do we need to do? And I really appreciate that about Coastal Kids. That obviously we're working weekends, but it's nice to follow up on our own kids, because then we kind of know as a group how we all practice. We're pretty similar. We follow AAP guidelines, and so on evidence-based medicine. So I trust, whether it be me or I trust the other doctors in our group, to see our children and make sure they get better. And I think that's the most important part, is that continuity of care and knowing how to treat a child. Because sometimes the adult doctors, they're really good, but they may not see often, which may be sometimes problematic. So
exactly. That actually happened with us, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, but yeah, I think it's so important to have that communication, and you guys are so great at following up and making sure everything's good, and that's what we love about you guys. So, but and I guess now, because there's so many changes going on with COVID, that you guys have had to adapt as well. I'm sure there's a lot of questions that are being answered that you guys have to answer, and how can you maybe talk about like how you guys are adapting and what protocols you guys have in place right now.
Yeah, so, we're all still learning, as is the rest of the world with COVID. And so we're trying our best to, because obviously we need to still see our kiddos. Kiddos are still getting sick, remarkably, even though they're in quarantine. And then, families have children, babies are still coming, and, we still need vaccines, and that, which is super important, so that when we're all able to go out freely again, is that we don't have new diseases popping up again, like measles and things like that. And so what we've tried to do is to make it safe for our families and for us, our staff as well, is that we've tried to, actually we change up our schedules. And so usually, we have 6 slots, wellness slots throughout the day, but initially what we ended up doing was then completely changing the models. And so each office was a little bit different. So I can't speak to what every other office did. It's very similar to what Irvine did, was that we had the entire mornings blocked off for only wellness checks. And so there's only well children. If there are any sick children, they were not scheduled at those same slots. And then it's actually probably the safest time to be ever, making sure that we're cleaning extra. We have all the supplies around, and, our office manager has a little timer that goes off, and every 15 minutes or so, we're off cleaning everything again as well. And then I know we've always had our well in our sick waiting rooms to separate our kiddos, but nowadays, to maintain social distancing and, minimize the amount of people in there, we've actually asked that parents now just wait in the car and call us when you're here. And so that way, when your room's available, we just call you back and then have you come straight back to the room and hang out in there. And then with our sick kids, obviously kids can still have rashes, things like that maybe potentially aren't concerning for, COVID. And so in those instances, they're able to come the afternoon sessions or that other half day, because it does flip-flop depending on the day and the doctor there. But if you have any respiratory symptoms, we actually ask that you stay in your car, and we actually put on we are masking, but we also put on more of our PPE to go outside to see you as well. And so that way it's contained. It's not, we minimize the amount of staff members being exposed, A, but also B, for our patients, we don't have anyone that's, in the vicinity of other patients that is sick. And so a lot of times when we've been doing a lot of telemeds, because I know a lot of parents are home now with their kiddos, not wanting to go out because they're worried about COVID, or B, having multiple children at home, it can be hard to even leave that house without any child care or anything like that at the moment, since everyone's home. So we try to kind of mix things up. And as always, our portal there and phone calls, and, I love chatting with my families during this time. It's nice to check in with everyone. It's like checking in my own family. So
exactly. And I think that's great. Like you touched on the portal, and I think that's cool, because maybe you could just talk a little bit about that, just kind of let them know what that's all about.
Yeah. So the portal, so we try to improve every year in our group. And so initially a few years ago, we had rolled out an electronic medical system. So we're trying to figure out how to do that first. And then over the last few years, we've been able to roll out the portal portion of it, which is for parents. So when parents come in, grab their passwords from the front, they can sign up for the portal online, where they can actually get see your kiddos' charts. And so the best part's like really the growth charts and the vaccine records. I believe also you can get school forms there, and we're working on ways to, because we do have kind of these developmental surveys that we often hand out at these visits too. We're working on ways to try to figure out, hey, electronically, is there a way we can send it out to families now through the portal or what have you, so that you don't have to sit in the office and fill those out if you're busy watching a toddler. Is not quite the easiest thing to do sometimes, and filling in the form as well. So you get a chance to look at what we're doing. And then the other thing nice about the portal is actually you can send messages to your doctor. And so the message inbox, it gets all compiled in one area. And so our staff goes through it every so often, every day, throughout the day, to look at what messages are getting coming through, and they send it off to the doctor that whoever was requested. So and then from that standpoint, we get those messages, and then we call back and go through any family concerns that way. So
that's great. Yeah, it is. Like I said, we've loved Coastal Kids. We think it's great. Specifically, obviously, we're biased because we like Dr. Bui here. She's he's been his doctor since he was born. How long have you been a doctor?
Yeah, so 7 years now. I'm a pediatrician for 7 years. So, and it's something that I've always wanted to do growing up because I dearly, dearly love my own pediatrician. And tried to stay there as long as I could before, 21.
There's a Friends episode, I think, where Ross is going to 30 something.
Yeah, looking for the lollipops. Yes, and taking his ensign. Yep, exactly. So be similar. But,
nice, I like it.
Yeah, I loved having her. My own family told me stories of when I was born, she rounded on me in the nursery. And such, and she knew me as a person. She, every time I emailed her or came in, she knew me, she knew my history, she knew everything. And so I really appreciate that. And that, and I love how medicine's fun. I mean, we're all learning how to adjust right now, which unfortunate times, but it's also kind of the fun part, the nerdy side of medicine that I do love. And so I loved being able to, learn all these things and continually learn, but also I get to take care of kids and families. It's not just the child, the families that I get to grow with and see. And I think, for me, it's my dream come true to be able to do this, and then also to be, I grew up in Irvine too, just a few streets down, and I'm so happy to be able to be here, and see our kiddos too. So.
Well, I have to say, you're great at what you do. We know how passionate you are, and you're so great with the kids. Like Easton he sees you once a year, but a couple times, a couple more than once a year, every once in a while. And is right at home. You know what I mean? Like it's just and I think it's because of the vibe that you give off, and I think that's important. And it's just amazing. So. Thank you, because you're a great doctor and you're a great pediatrician. We just think you're fantastic.
Thank you.
There's your plug from us.
Thank you.
But so if someone is moving here, or they're going to have a baby, or they just want to kind of they're looking for a pediatrician, do they just call the local office, or is there a main number? How would they do that?
Exactly. So all of our offices have their own numbers, and so you can call the office that you're interested in or that's closest to your house.
Okay.
If you look on our website, it does list. There's a whole bunch of us because there's 5 offices, so there's about like 25 or so pediatricians. Right. And so you can look and see, read their profiles if you like, to see if you like any of the pediatricians, or if you go on our website and actually click on the office that you're interested in proper, it does list the pediatricians that are at that location, and go through that location, because I know sorting out who is where is oftentimes difficult. And so just call the office that you'd like to be seen at, or would like to be your home office. And usually what we call new mommy consults. And so back in the day, before the coronavirus happened, we would have an appointment slot. The expected parents would come in, and we'd sit down, we'd chat. It's a chance to get to know me, a chance to get to know families, and get to know Coastal Kids, kind of the policies, the place, and kind of how everything works. And of course, as you're prepping for a new baby, there's a lot of things. You're reading a lot of things, you're going through a lot of things, you're thinking of a lot of things. And so it's to help, tease any of those questions out that you may have, or any concerns about, the impending arrival. We used to see you in person. Now we're actually, for those, because obviously pregnant moms are at risk, in terms of being a little bit immunocompromised, and we want to minimize the people in the office if possible, just for general safety reasons. And so we actually do a video similar to this. It's a telemed. And so you call, say, hey, I'm expecting a new baby or what have you, and they'll put you on the schedule as a mommy consult. And then at that time, we do something similar to this, and we chat and go through everything that parents have thought of. So usually I'd say, have a list of questions to bring in for that, or at least have, I guess not to bring in, but at that visit, just so that we can go over it together. Because I'll do my spiel of, what Coastal Kids and the hours and all that good stuff. But, any concerns that they have. If you're new to Irvine and then you have, you have children already, we do we also, if you want to take a look around or get to know any one of us too, we do offer what we call, similar to new mommy consults, we call them new practice welcomes. And so what you can see, I've had families that just want to meet me, and the parents come in and ask, and kind of want to introduce their child, because they may have other concerns that they don't want to talk about in front of the child, or or they bring their child in just to see how we all interact and how things go from that visit. And then they can decide if they'd like to come to our group or out of our group. It's a free consult. All these are free consults. There's no co-pays or anything attached to it. And then if you decide that you want to go to Coastal Kids, we make it easy. You should just call the office number, and you can always schedule an appointment Well visits typically have to be scheduled at least a day in advance, but any sick visits or same day sick, we have kids that move here because, like Easton, we only see him once a year now. Oftentimes, a child would be sick, but they're new to the area. You can call and say, hey, my kid's ear is hurting. Can I be seen today? And we're happy to see it the same day.
Yeah.
We do that all the time, so.
And we that's happened a few times. So yeah, and that's one thing. You guys always are welcoming and trying to squeeze us in and get it. So it's amazing.
Yeah, because it's important. I mean, for me too, I like to see my kids. I mean, obviously, it makes me sad to see in between. It means something might be wrong, but for me, it's nice because I know you. You've known Easton since day one. It makes it. I'm able to see that same day. It makes it a lot easier to explain things to someone else or what have you. Although everything's in the chart, so if you saw someone else when I wasn't there, obviously,
exactly.
Of course, and we all communicate. We like each other, so we chat and make sure that everything is okay. But we try to make it simple. You just have to call us and let us know what you'd like to do, and we're happy to do it. So
that's great. Well, that is awesome. Like I said, we can't say how much we like you guys enough, and I think it's just so important for people to know, just like some of the things that you touched on here, what you guys do, and just like people that are moving here, or people, like I said, people that are pregnant and expecting, and it's time to get that pediatrician. I think it's good. It's good to have some of these questions answered. So thank you so much again for jumping on here with me.
I was happy to.
Great talking to you as always.
Yeah, it's nice to check in with you guys. Like I said, it's like family, right? And so
exactly, extended family. But again, thank you so much again, and stay safe. And we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Yeah, sounds good. You too. Stay safe, and tell your wife and Easton I say hello. Okay.
I will. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Bui.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good day.
It was so nice talking to Dr. Bui. Like you said, she's so passionate about what she does. She loves what she does. She loves taking care of kids. She makes them feel at ease. It's so calming as a parent knowing that we have someone like her to rely on. And when she's not around, they have a great support system of other doctors and support staff over at Coastal Kids. All the information, again, is here if you do want to get in touch with them. I've also posted it in the description of this video. If you did like this video, make sure you subscribe. Hit the little bell so you're notified every time I post. I post every week about what it's like to live here in Orange County. If you are thinking of moving here to Orange County, or you live here already and thinking about making a move, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, just get in touch with us. We are here to help you in any way that we can. I hope you all have a fantastic Memorial Day, and until next week, take care, everybody.